This is the introduction for Spector's Chapter 18, Scalability and Replication Studies. Defining scale and scalability. In Chapter 18, Spector discusses scalability in education, the challenges of bringing a demonstration or projects to scale, and provides approaches toward general solutions. Spector defines scalability as the effort of using time, money, and expertise which is required to take a project, implement it at one level, and execute implementation at a higher level. For example, an identified project is successfully implemented at one grade level, such as a third grade science class, and a team of professionals decide to expand the project and implement it in a different grade level and subject area. To achieve success in scaling up a promising project, the following approaches must be considered: a systemic view that takes into account a variety of values, cultural perspectives, work practices, and prior experiences. Moving a project to scale from one classroom to the entire school environment may involve designing a pilot program. Multiple factors must be taken into consideration, such as differing grade levels, subject areas, students, student ability, teachers, and teacher ability. A pilot program helps refine the application of the program and project and supports teacher training. Another level of scalability is to implement a school program within the entire district. Implementing a program within a school district involves multiple challenges, such as differing school cultures. Within one district, every school is different. Students, teachers, administrators, and even custodial staff live within that particular environment, which supports the culture of the school. Rarely is one school's culture identical to another. Significant training for educators and supports offered by principals and administrators is crucial for success at a district-wide program. Parents and community voters may also be a crucial component toward the success of scaling a project from school to district level. The next level of scalability is moving a project from district level to state level. At this point, state standards are explicitly acknowledged and ongoing financial support is required. The most challenging in scaling a project is moving it from state to national level. Few have achieved this accomplishment with the exception of Head Start. Issues related to scale. Spector spoke of Deed and his colleagues who identified 5 areas of concern in relation to scaling up. Adapting a successful program to a wide variety of settings while maintaining effectiveness, affordability, and sustainability can be very challenging. The 5 areas of concern addressed by Deeds and colleagues begins with depth. Depth is the extent and levels of changes required for success of the program. Depth involves consequential changes in the classroom practice, teachers' beliefs, norms of social interaction, and pedagogical principles as enacted in the curriculum. The depth of changes may include the evaluation of training needs, equipment, school environment preparations, pilot programs, and ongoing evaluation and research to determine the program's success rate. Results of evaluations and research of program can influence the design and implementation of the program, resulting in further scalability. Sustainability refers to the program's ability to maintain its design over a substantial period of time and continue to provide the desired outcome with consequential changes. What resources are required for needed adaptations and ongoing support for a successfully implemented program are considered. The program must be able to survive various settings and support different types of learners. Spread refers to the movement of the program from a single environment to large numbers of classrooms and schools. Dean and colleagues state, in order to achieve spread, researchers should modify the design to retain effectiveness while reducing resources and expertise required for success. Lowering cost and making the project user-friendly increases the probability of a larger spread. Shift is the fact that ownership is likely to shift from project managers and principal investigators to others, such as school and district administrators. As the project grows, more people become involved, and a shift of ownership may occur on several occasions as it scales through the levels of achievement. For classroom projects, Dean and colleagues suggest designing a program that is adaptable to student needs and supports teacher involvement. Evolution is the reality that a systemic change typically requires gradual and steady progress rather than radical reconstruction. It takes time for a project to successfully evolve and scale through the different levels of implementation. Slow and steady growth provides for a greater opportunity of success. Dean and colleagues describe evidence of evolution when adapter, teacher, and designer collaborate and evolve the quality or functionality of the project. Depth, spread, and shift must occur for true evolution. Spector addresses the concern of middle to late adapters of the project. Individuals who are not involved at the beginning of the project may become intimidated and reluctant to participate in a project they see as beyond their capability or expertise. He suggests participatory designs, design-based research, and user-centered designs as an approach that places representative users at various levels of readiness and involve them early and often when planning and implementing educational technology innovations. Solution approaches. Spector states evaluation of programs and projects is central to their success. Formative evaluation is a cumulative study which helps determine what works, why it works, and how the project fits in the broad spectrum of the education. Formative evaluation helps determine needs for improvement and the quality of the program as it evolves. When scaling up, evidence-based decision-making before, during, and after is essential toward success. Formative evaluation often supports the efforts of educational technologists who are advocates for an innovation they have helped implement. Replication studies. Replication studies is the act of applying an existing theory to new situations in order to determine generalization with different subjects, age groups, races, locations, cultures, and other variables. There are three types of replication studies. Exact or literal replication studies are rarely feasible. The same equipment, material, stimuli, design, and statistical analysis is used. Life scenarios are never the same and require a level of adaptability. Operational replication studies test the validity of original findings. This is when some, but not all methods or measures from the original study are repeated. Combining original methods with new ideas creates the potential for innovation. Constructive replication studies test the primary creation of the original study or program. New conditions may be added to the experience to evaluate different variables that may change the original program. Spector discusses recategorizing replication studies into two areas: direct studies that is aimed at repeating experimental procedures in a new or different setting, and conceptual studies, which is aimed at underlining hypotheses using different experimental procedures. Direct and conceptual replication studies using meta-analysis contributes to generalization of findings and supports scale-up efforts. Replication studies are widely encouraged and supported in medical practices due to the consistency they provide and support the professional community and general public. Replication studies are not as successful in education because scholars often look for new approaches, methods, and new instrumentations. In Chapter 18, Spector discusses scalability in replication studies. Scalability is the process of taking a successful project or program and expanding it up into higher levels of use, such as school-wide, district-wide, state, and national efforts. When scaling a project or program, many variables and supports must be taken into consideration for success. Few programs have been scaled up to the national level. He also discussed replication studies. Replication studies are a representation of a systemic approach and address the question of the ability to generalize the project or program as it applies the methodology and instrumentation to a new population or context. Spector encourages publication of replication studies in educational journals as they are rarely utilized in the educational field.